We begin Unit 5, Absolute Values, with absolute value equations and absolute value inequalities. The absolute value of a number is the distance the number is from 0 on the number line. If the absolute value of x is equal to 4, then x can be both 4 and negative 4 because they are both 4 units away from 0. We will use a preliminary number line to help set up our equations and inequalities. Let's look at example 1. The absolute value of 3x plus 4 is equal to 10. A preliminary number line would be that we would know that the answer is between negative 10 and positive 10 units away from 0. But we need to find the actual answer. To do that, we set up the equation. Let's look at example 1. Because 3x plus 4 can either equal 10 or negative 10, I have to set up two equations. So anytime we have an absolute value and an equal sign, we have to set up two equations. The first equation will be 3x plus 4 is equal to negative 10, or the second equation will be 3x plus 4 is equal to positive 10. We just bring down the 3x plus 4 in both equations. The first equation will always be set to the negative, the second will always be set to the positive. Now we solve for x. In the first equation, we would subtract negative 4 first. This gives 3x is equal to negative 14. Now we divide by 3. X is equal to negative 14 over 3. In the second equation, 3x plus 4 is equal to 10. Again, you subtract 4 from both sides. 3x is equal to 6. Then divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 2. I have two answers. Remember, a while ago we got x is equal to negative 14 over 3, or we got x is equal to 2. Substituting negative 14 over 3 in for x, inside the absolute value brackets, 3 will go into 3 one time. Remember, this is 3 over 1. And we can cross reduce. So 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. So I end up with negative 14 plus 4 equals 10. Negative 14 plus 4 is negative 10. And my whole question is this equal to 10? Well, remember, the absolute value is the distance away from 0. And so it is always positive when it comes out. So the absolute value of negative 10 is 10. So yes, this checks. Let's plug in the second equation, the value of 2, by substituting it into the original equation. And we want to see if it is also equal to 10. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 4. Again, we are looking to see if that is equal to 10. So 6 plus 4 is 10. The absolute value of 10 is equal to 10. So 10 is equal to 10. And this checks. When we substitute negative 14 over 3 in for x in the original equation, this is a true statement. When we substitute 2 in for x, this is also a true statement. So my answer would be x is equal to negative 14 over 3, or x is equal to 2. Both of these are the answers. In example 2, we have 2 times the absolute value of 13x minus 5x plus 1 is equal to 5. When there is a number out front of the absolute value symbol, it is being multiplied to that symbol. I'm going to treat the absolute value of 13x minus 5x as if that was just x. So looking at this equation right here, 2x plus 1 equals 5, what would I do first? Well, I would subtract 1 from both sides. That leaves 2x equals 4. Then I would divide by 2, which leaves x is equal to 2. Just because it's an absolute value does not change how we solve equations. We want to work the same way by isolating the absolute value. Just like I got x by itself, I want to get the absolute value symbol by itself. So in this particular problem, the first thing I want to do before I start solving is to isolate. So we get the absolute by itself by subtracting 1 from both sides. That leaves 2 times the absolute value of 13x minus 5x is equal to 4. Notice the absolute value symbol is still not isolated. It's still not by itself because we still have a 2 that is being multiplied to it. So next I get rid of it. Now the absolute value is isolated. It is by itself. So now I can solve this just like I did in example 1. So now that I have an absolute value and an equals, I have 2 equations I need to solve. Let's clean this up a little bit in here first. 13x minus 5x is 8x. So I actually have the absolute value of 8x equals 2. So I have 2 equations to set up. The first one is 8x equals to negative 2, because remember the first one is negative, or the second one, which is 8x equals to positive 2. Now we solve this equation. Well, first let's look at our preliminary answer. Our preliminary answer tells us that our answer is going to be between negative 2 and positive 2. Let's finish solving. To isolate x, we need to divide 8 from both sides. So x is equal to negative 1 over 4. On this side, we also divide by 8. So x is equal to positive 1 over 4. We plot the answers negative 1/4 or 1/4 on the number line. The answer is x is equal to negative 1/4. X is equal to 1/4.